We will now move to the Board of Governors section of this debate. Will the Board of Governors candidates please make their way to the stage? Testing. Everyone can hear me on this mic? This one's back. Stephen, you have the opportunity to start first for the opening statement. You have 5 minutes. Your time begins now.
Can you guys hear me? Yes. Alright, sounds good. So my name is Stephen. Stephen Malcolm. I'm a third-year microbiology and immunology student here at Dalhousie. So in case you don't know what that is, I basically study, bacteria, virus, immune system, all that tiny stuff you can see with the microscope. So a little background about myself. So I was originally from Congo, DRC in Africa. And when I was little, we moved to Japan and I lived there for 7 or 8 years. So I speak a bit of Japanese, better diverse perspective there. After that, we moved to Canada, right? We first lived in Toronto for a little bit, and I've been living here in Halifax for almost 10 years now with the high school and everything. So today I'm running for the Board of Governors representative because I've spent, the last year observing how DSU works and operates. I realized that the most important decisions that happens for us students and on this campus are made at the board level. So there's often a disconnect between, the high level decisions that are made at the board level and the real experience that is happening at the student level details. So I'm running to make sure that when those big decisions are made, that student perspective is in the room. Some qualification that I think I have is, obviously I've worked as the faculty of science representative with the DSU, so I know a couple stuff from there. I also sat in committees through my role as a DSU science rep. I was in the grant and sponsorship committee, so a bit of financial literacy right there. I also sat in the Senate Discipline Committee. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Mazelle, you now have 5 minutes for your opening statement. Your time begins now.
Thank you. You can hear me? It's great to learn a bit about you. I was trying to find a time to just chat before everyone. My first thought is, out of 20,000 people, if you and I are the only people that want to do it, we should just both do it. Seems like the most reasonable thing. My name is Mazelle. Nice to meet you all. I'm in the Bachelor of Computer Science. Yeah. Woo. A bit about me. I was just looking at the DSU election and I was like, oh, this is cool. Came up on my feed and I saw that there's this Board of Governors rep position. That looks interesting. Look at what that is. I go, oh wow. This is something that I could actually bring a lot of value to and just contribute in a way that I'm pretty confident in being able to. So that is just basically why I submitted it, and that's pretty much like what I want to do. I was like, you know what? I think, I'm on like 4 boards of directors already. I've been doing this for like so long. I'm old. I'm a mature student. I think that gives having a mature student as a rep, I think that's a strategic advantage. And yeah, I just thought that I've been doing this so much. I've been working as a consultant in policy, writing HR policy, data policy, and governance, policy for intergovernmental organizations and all these things. So I thought this seemed like just like a clear way that I can bring value and do something that matters to this place that I really care about. And yeah, I guess that's why I'm doing it. That's not really a lot about me. I'm from Halifax. I've been here my whole life. I went to Dal before into global studies, and I ended up working in like Guatemala for a year, and then like Ethiopia, and Colombia, and India. And I spent like most of my 20s just like bouncing around, and that's how I got into governance. Because I just learned everywhere you go, people have different ways of solving problems, and a lot of times the ways that people sort out how to solve problems for themselves are like actually just the best ways. And you just sit back and listen. People know how to solve their problems most of the time. You can just get out of the way, and if you can amplify or advocate or contribute what you can, then I feel like that's generally the best way to approach it. My mom has been a professor at Dal my whole life. So I feel like when I was like 4 years old, I was like running around in law school. So this place is like just very much a part of my identity, I guess. And yeah, I've been on board so much that I just feel like I know how they work. And I feel like being like 39 and being a mature student, the way they respond, I've noticed compared to my first year, like the way administrators and teachers respond to me is so much different. Like they just kind of believe me. Like they actually listen. Like they don't bypass it the way they used to. They don't, I don't know, it's just a very different vibe. So I figured I should contribute and help out in a way that I can. The end.
Thank you, Lizelle. Didn't want to cut you off there. Okay, the first question we'll begin with Stephen is, what is one unique experience that you bring to the role, and how do you plan on putting it in action? You have 2 minutes to respond to that question. Your time starts now.
All right, thank you. So one unique quality. I want to say my adaptability. I think that's a big one that I have, especially from moving from different places, being exposed to different culture, language, atmosphere every single time. I think that's something I, naturally is able to bring, right? Apart from that, even from moving from high school, I went to a relatively very small high school. We had maybe 20 people in class. You come into our house with 500 people in your bio class, 400 in physics, 300 in math. It's a big change, but I'm out here now, working as the housing student council members. I'm also executives on multiple societies, presidents, co-pres, VP finance. So I think, that's one big quality that I'm able to bring to the table. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Is now the same question to you?
What's one unique experience?
I can repeat the question.
Yeah.
What is one unique experience that you bring to the role, and how do you plan on putting it in action? You have 2 minutes to respond.
How do I plan to bring my one unique experience into the role? How do I plan to put it in? Okay. That's a tough question, honestly. One experience. I don't know if I have one. I guess the unique experience I bring into the role is a really wide perspective on a ton of different moments across various conflicts and various ways of bringing people together, and the value in the diversity of opinion and the value of
1 minute warning.
building consensus and in listening to everybody who's at the table, and is I feel like I've learned so much from incredible like chairs and incredible facilitators, and watched them like just be able to pull people together and listen and just take what everyone is saying and just succinctly find consensus or find traction in really challenging times. And I feel like I've watched that happen so much that I don't know exactly how to put that into action, but I just realized that this is how this happens. Like that it actually is so possible to have people that very much disagree and can be brought together to get like incredible communication and insight.
Thank you, Ms. Our second question to candidates, beginning with Ms. L. What issues facing students do you plan to bring to the Board of Governors? You have 2 minutes to respond. Your time begins now.
I guess that's just up to us as students. I think my role is conduit, is to represent what people want me to represent, bring the issues up to the board, and to represent this body in a very professional and articulate way, and to make sure that what it is that we decide, that is decided, that is wanted, is presented in a way that gets it through and gets everybody on board and gives the board what they need to get to yes, to express and to communicate to the board why it's in their best interest to do exactly what we think they should do, or what we think we should do as a 1 minute one as a student body. And I think just in general, accessibility and equity and affordability and accountability and just moral sanity, just bringing those concepts and ideas and just values into the space and holding that, and while holding that, just being a conduit for what the DSU is saying and what the student body is saying and what people need to have communicated and what they need the board to agree on and get done.
Thank you, Ms. L. Stephen, you now have 2 minutes to respond to the same question. Would you like the question repeated?
Yes, please.
No problem. What issues facing students do you plan to bring to the Board of Governors? You have 2 minutes. Your time begins now.
All right. You guys hear me too? Okay, sounds good. I think it was a great point you brought out, especially listening goes a very long way. There's multiple things I could advocate for. I'm a big advocate for equity, especially in my my STEM field. That's a lot of what I focus on through my societies. Right, I'm in Black Science Society. I'm in where we bring awareness to historical contribution to Black scientists, as well as creating space for them. So that's one big thing. However, I think, like I said, listening goes a very long way. I think I have a good amount of connections to people. I would love to hear what people are dealing with, whether that's tuition, whether that's housing, whether that's maybe infrastructures on campus, right? How the position works, right? I'm not necessarily going to be able to build a building overnight, right? That's not my position. I'm a board member. I'm just a voter.
1 minute.
However, thank you. I'm just a voter. However, I'm very passionate on being able to listen and bring those problems to the board, especially since it's very hard for regular students to just maybe email the president of that, right? She's not responding realistically. However, I think a great example is 2 weeks ago, I believe, we had a DSU meeting, and we had a couple of Iranian students who came to our meeting talking about their conflicts back home, and a lot of them get their financial support from back home. So now that they're not getting it, they're not able to pay tuition. And these are real concerns that are happening around campus, and being able to be in a space that being able to listen to those at the DSU meeting and being able to bring that up to the board members as along with my other board of governors and the president. I think that would be great. Yeah.
Thank you, Stephen. We'll now move to our third and final question. Stephen, this question will go to you first. The Board of Governors is the university's highest governing body. As such, confrontation and a differing of opinions is expected between members. How do you deal with confrontation or uncomfortable situations? You have 2 minutes. Your time begins now.
All right, thank you. I think that's a great question. I deal with conflicts all the time. I'm a oldest of 4 siblings in an immigrant household, so there's a lot of violence between my siblings. But apart from that, real experience will be during my time in the Senate, right? In the Senate Discipline Committee, we hear all the concerns and complaints and allegations about academic offense and all that. And we have to talk among each other. There's always some disagreements, right? That we have to come in, come together with. Also, as my job also, I'm a basketball referee, and there's always conflict with the coaches and the players. But I think great way is once again listening, right? Sometimes you might think that you're in the right, you're in the wrong, but I love taking time, just understanding the other person's view, and even if thank you. Even if the conflict is not between me and the other person, right? Being able to have an objective opinion and taking evidences to come into a conclusion, something I've been practicing on through, maybe at my house or Senate or as my part-time job. So yeah, listening and listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Azelle, the same question for you. Would you like the question repeated? Sure. Wonderful. The Board of Governors is the university's highest governing body. As such, confrontation or differing of opinions is expected between members. How do you deal with confrontation or uncomfortable situations? You have 2 minutes to respond. Your time begins now.
I think it's actually it's good when people disagree. I think, that's where generally people don't disagree for the wrong reasons. They just have a different perspective or different experience, and they have different pressures pushing them in one way or the other to advocate or to be in a position that makes the most sense for them. And I think having I don't know how to say it, but like a healed nervous system feels really powerful in terms of conflict and uncomfortability.
1 minute warning.
And what I mean by that is just being able to stay calm and listen and to hold space for folks that are needing to express themselves in a way that they might not always be expressing, but really, really matters to them. That I think like emotions are healthy and good a lot of the time, and I think that we live in this space where a lot of times emotions are kind of shunned or looked down upon, or it has very like patriarchal, millennial, oppressive, anti-emotional space. So yeah, I think that.
Thank you, Azelle. Thank you for that. With that response, I conclude the Board of Governors section of the debate. Thank you both, Stephen and